Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to go over my spinnerbait rod setup and the rod that I use day in and day out for my spinnerbait. This is a rod that I've had set up for spinnerbait for years. You know, I've messed around with different line sizes as well, and I finally found a line size I really do truly like. And we'll get to that line, the line size, in a little bit. First, we're going to talk about the rod blank. And actually, before I do that, this setup is actually responsible for catching largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, pike, and walleye. I've had walleye hit the spinnerbait too. So this rod's great for all species. For me, anyways, it's worked great for me. All my setups, take it with a grain of salt. You know, I mean, what might work for me might not work for you guys or anybody else, but it's a starting point. If you need a starting point, I don't know. Anyways, okay, now the rod blank. This is another rod that I built. Again, I don't build my rods anymore. I am getting into something different. We'll go into that, down that rabbit hole another day. But this rod is I gotta check. I'm pretty sure it is a medium heavy. Yep, it is. Yep. Okay, so this is a 7-foot medium heavy fast action rod. You're gonna notice that there's a couple of rods out there that I have that are about the same type. It's a kind of a dual type of a rod, that 7-foot medium heavy fast action rod. This one I really do like for my spinnerbait as well. And the difference between each setup is going to be the reels and the line. It's between each setup for different baits. And with this one, actually the reel isn't all that much different. This is a 6 I believe this is, what is this one? Oh, yep, 6.3-to-1 reel. So with a spinnerbait, I do want a slower reel. The reason why is because I tend to reel this thing just a tad too fast, and it's hard for me to slow it down myself. So if I have a slower reel, it forces me to slow down. And then when I'm burning it, you know, then I'm actually going a little bit faster. But if I'm going at a normal speed, it's hard for me to do that and slow that way down like that with a faster reel. So this helps me slow it down. This 6.3-to-1 reel, bait casting reel. This is an older one. It is fairly beat up. I don't know if you can see how beat up it is, but it is beat up pretty good. I am hard on my gear, but I've also had this for a while, and this has been set up perfectly for spinnerbaits for the longest time now. The you know, I could probably use a little bit newer reel that would kind of help with some of the backlashes that I get. I've had some backlashes, my error, of course, but this reel's been really good. Drag, been really good. Again, this is a Quantum. I've been really deep into Quantums for quite a while, so it just works good. The drag is set pretty good. I've got it set where it's gonna, you know, if they need to, they can pull drag and you don't have to worry about snapping off. So that's pretty good. The line. Now I've messed around with the line size a couple different times, and I've tried braided line, a braid to fluorocarbon leader. And again, it's that knot. I just wanted to get rid of that knot. Now the castability is much better with a braided main line, just because it's just easier to cast braid than it is fluoro in some situations. But I just want to get rid of that knot. So what I have done in the past, I've thrown 17-pound fluorocarbon line on my bladed jig rods. So I thought, well, why not on my spinnerbait rods? So I did that. I put 17-pound fluorocarbon line on my spinnerbait rod here, and I've been throwing it ever since. Now you got to set your reel to accommodate that, because it's going to be a little bit different to throw because of the thicker diameter line. But it's doable, very, very doable. So once I did that, got it all set. The only difference is now if I change weights on my spinnerbaits, I'm gonna have to reset this just a little bit, just adjust, not reset. I'm gonna have to adjust it a little bit, and that's no big deal. So this setup has been really good. And that line, the reason why I wanted a heavier line is because that heavier line is, I tend to throw spinnerbaits just like I'm sure a bunch of you guys. I throw spinnerbaits around cover, sometimes around heavier cover, not in heavier cover, but around it. And if they happen to take that and go into the cover, I want to be able to have a better chance of getting that out. Now, you're not going to put too heavy a line on here, because the problem that happens is that if you got too heavy a line on here, you're just going to bend your spinnerbait wide out and you're just going to lose it. So, I mean, there is a happy medium there. But at least with this, you got a better chance of getting your bait out of there. If it's too light a line, you might lose and might break off. But if it's too heavy, you're going to bend your spinnerbait like crazy, and you could end up losing that as well, losing it all together. I mean, but maybe, who knows? I mean, I've almost lost a spinnerbait doing that, actually, but haven't lost one yet. I haven't broke off yet on this setup either, and you can fish it deep too. You just gotta let it sit, you let it fall, and then do a slow roll. Works great. This setup has been really good for me, and you know what? All you got to do is, I mean, like I said in some of the previous videos, you don't have to go out and buy an expensive combo. I mean, the reel, so my smoke reels, my quantum smoke reels, I don't buy brand new in the box store. I really don't. I buy them off of eBay, and because I can get this here, well, maybe not this one, but like, so some of the smoke reels right now I can get from anywhere between $100 to $150 a reel, and they brand new, they're around $200. So you can save some money. Just be careful who you're buying from sometimes, and always look at the ad, read the ad. You know, be very careful. Sometimes you can get some bad ones, but I haven't gotten any bad ones yet, so I've gotten pretty lucky. I feel very fortunate for that, and the reels have been pretty solid. And as long as you take care of them and do regular maintenance on them, you'll be just fine. But you don't have to get, you know, quantums. I mean, I think that one other quantums. I mean, you don't have to get like the higher end like quantum smokes. And other reels are probably like this too. It's not just brand specific, but you can get the lower end models that still work just fine. Like, say for example with quantums, the quantum energy, they're not as expensive as the smoke models, and you can still get those too. Same thing with that quantum kinetic. That quantum kinetic has been a pretty good reel. The one from a different video, I should say. Well, it was the one off my other my top water rod setup. That one wasn't that expensive, and it works. It's been working out pretty good, actually. So you don't need to drop a ton of dollar signs on a combo. You know, you might lose some quality with the lower end model. You might lose some warranty, but sometimes when you start out, that's where you got to start. You got to start somewhere. And you can work your way up into the more expensive stuff. And then by that time, you'll have it dialed in exactly which rod works the best for you. Just like this. I mean, I'm going to be upgrading here shortly. You know, within the next year, I'm going to be upgrading a lot of my rods. And, you know, a lot of these rod setups, videos I'm doing for you guys, that's what I'm going to be upgrading to. You know, the same type, but just a different brand or a different, you know, model. So that's it, you guys. This has been my go-to spinnerbait rod setup. It's caught me a ton of fish. It's been very reliable for me. And if you guys are ever wondering about rod setup for a spinnerbait, give this a shot. Maybe it'll work for you. If it don't, keep playing around with it, and you know, you'll get a setup that works best for the way you fish. So, all right, guys. Thanks again for you know, tuning in for this episode of rod setups. I mean, I feel like I've been doing a bunch of these, but I enjoy doing this, and you know, this stuff has helped me out watching these in the past from other guys. You know, hopefully it'll help you guys out too. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next video.